Hi there. I got my morning eyes because it was hard waking up this morning, but I'm gonna be back out on the road today. I had to finish shooting a little something for my feature. Shouldn't take long, but that's in my plans today. I'm gonna start shooting footage for my Albina documentary. That's gonna take a long time to make, but I'm gonna be shooting stuff for that. I'll probably be doing, like, update videos, kind of like what I did for I'm just getting blotted out. It's really cold out here, and I am in summer attire because it's gonna get warmer later, so I'm allowing myself to be cool now for the sake of being warmer later. But yeah, I might do update stuff for the Albina documentary. It's gonna take a while to do. But also, while I'm up there, I'm gonna be doing more video for any boarded up, closed down, transitioning properties that I see up there. I'm going to shoot to include in the opening credits of my film, like I've been doing for the last 2 days when I can fit them in. But now I got a whole day off, and so it's going to be a combination of doing all that stuff. Steve the Amateur Historian. Breezy, and thus it's cold in the shade. I'm just like walking through the Rose Quarter. Like, here's Moda Center, and here's the other shit. I don't even know if I'm necessarily supposed to be walking through here, because, like, well, I guess there's a guy on a bike, because it's just all working people, like people who work here. And then it's just me. Like, hey guys, how you doing? There's the Memorial Coliseum. The old man, and then his young son. But anyway, the Rose Quarter is pretty much like the southernmost point where the old Albina neighborhood used to go through, and thanks to urban renewal, this was mostly residential here, and city decided they needed new sports complex, and so just took people's homes. It was predominantly Portland's black neighborhood. They just took their homes so they could have all this space. And of course, over here where the Moda Center is, that used to be mostly parking. You see old pictures from the 50s, 60s, 70s, the Coliseum here, and then it's just all parking back here. So yeah, obliterated. Like, I mean, this is big. Like, all this got obliterated too. Like, just that was just one time where the Albina area was forced to sacrifice. People who lived there were forced to sacrifice their homes because the city wanted to look like they were making progress. I don't know. All I know is it's breezy, which is not great because it's sunny, but it's still like 50 something. Like, it's cold out here right now. I am not enjoying this. But I know later on I would have been just sweating and uncomfortable and just hobbling around if I was in long pants. So here we are. Right, and I started my day pretty much where I left off. My first day I tried to actually shoot video for my Albina documentary, and the moment I started, my stick started acting up. I had to buy a new stick for my movie and all that while I was trying to film the Coliseum over there, and just trying to scare the shit out of myself. Downstairs parking. Oh, I thought it would be like almost a total basement, but it's actually, we're ground level, just lower down ground level. Oh. That does not mean it's not. This is so interesting. Oh, hello. It's so interesting though. You'd think there'd be at least someone squatting down here. There's like nobody here. These parking garages are completely empty. I mean, there's nothing going on, but still. Anyway, so I just got some video of these garages, and because all this stuff, you know, took place at these homes that used to be in the Albina area. And so yeah, I just shot a little bit of video of just kind of the general Rose Quarter area, in addition to the Coliseum footage I already shot. And I saw a real sketchy guy right across the street, so I thought, okay, done getting footage of this. I'm gonna, anytime I see someone sketchy coming along, I'm gonna put my camera in my bag so nobody knows I got it with me, and then move on to the next place. So I'm gonna head Flint, which is kind of the street. It goes that way, crosses the freeway, and then we're kind of into the edge of the Elliott neighborhood, which is predominantly where Old Town, or not Old Town, well, yeah, Old Town Albina, the original town, is mostly where the Elliott neighborhood is now. And the Elliott neighborhood was the original black neighborhood before things like the Coliseum project, I-5 over there, where they gutted a bunch of houses out. And then ultimately by the early 70s, they demoed the main hub of that community. And, you know, hundreds of homes were destroyed, so people had to relocate, and most people relocated further north, so the Elliott neighborhood became less and less the core of Albina. But yeah, once I cross the freeway up here, I'll be on the southern edge of that. So I'm gonna slow down and turn this way, mainly because I'm on Flint right now, which I'm sure has some historical content. God, it is so weird that there's just no traffic here on this road. I think it's because Vancouver is right over here, and that's a much more traveled road. But anyway, we've got Vancouver Avenue right here, and like one block down is Williams Avenue, and they just run parallel with each other for a while. And that was in addition to Union Avenue, which is now MLK. Vancouver was, you know, it's still a pretty prominent street, so it was, you know, 40, 50, 60, 70 years ago as well. But Williams Street, the next one down, was like the main commercial hub of the old Albina neighborhood, because even at that time, Union Avenue was on the far east fringe of town, so it was still technically part of it, but it was on one extreme end, whereas Williams Avenue up here just cut through right down the middle. This is Vancouver Avenue, so again, very prominent stretch. I'm gonna have to figure out how to cross here. We're now coming up to Williams Avenue. This is Williams and Tillamook. It's, you know, still a fairly well-traveled road, but it's actually been split, so this is just going northbound, and then Vancouver back there is going southbound, which makes things a little bit easier on me. Or the treachery I put myself through. There's some kind of feed going on over here, and a lot of the people look like they're like really messed up drug addicts. And so I got my camera with me, and I'm just trying to get a shot of the Hill Block Dome, which is right back behind me. It used to be further that way, and when they demoed the building, they put the dome over here, so I really wanted that for my film. And the moment I start filming, I've got my nice camera with me. I've already been mugged once by someone who was a drug addict, and then all these people who are clearly drug addicts start just conglomerating around the dome. But I got my shots. I just want to get like a wide shot of it, and then I'll be on my way. There's lots of kids here too, and I always feel uncomfortable having a camera out when I'm in a park full of kids. So get it and get out. And as I needed to go to the bathroom. Unfortunately, I'm at Dawson Park, so parks have restrooms, and this restroom smells like it's made out of weed. It's so anyway, there was a lot of noise, a lot of chaos going on. I was trying to get those shots done and get out because there's half the people there looked like they were hopefully recovering druggies, and then there was families with their kids, and neither one of them is a great dynamic demographic to be around when you're walking around videoing stuff with a fairly expensive camera, because you never know if a druggie's going to hassle you about your nice piece of equipment that they could steal and sell for drugs, like has already happened to me once in my life. And then the other side is you've got parents with kids, and I'm just this guy with my wavy, crazy hair and my very stubbly stubble just taking video in the park. You see where I'm at. Anyway, that was kind of a roundabout thing. So what I was getting towards with this whole thing, the reason I was there filming the dome, I've talked about this, I don't know, 2 or 3 times on my channel and other videos, but that dome that's in that little gazebo in the park there is called the Hill Block Dome. The Hill Block was a very large building at the corner of Williams and Rusell, and was part of this string of buildings that were on that block that were a major source of, economic, I mean, it was one of the main hubs of economy in an area that already didn't have a great economy anyway, going into the 60s, into the 70s. And so the Hill Block, along with, all the buildings connected to it on that block, were all just demoed to make space for this, I think I'm still kind of in the vicinity though. Oh, I almost overshot what I wanted to get to. Anyway, yeah, so to build for the Legacy Emmanuel Hospital, to build what they ultimately ended up not building because they ran out of funds, but they demoed all that. And the Hill Block was an iconic building that went back to, like, I want to say the 1890s. It may have been the first decade of the 1900s, but either way, over 100 years ago. And they saved the dome from the corner of the building, and that's what stands in that park. So that's like what's left over. And I don't have too much time before I gotta skedaddle southbound to get done something else I'm working on. And last thing I shot Hill Block, shot a little bit of footage of an abandoned house I've been to before. Well, pseudo-abandoned house. It might be abandoned at this point, I don't know. Hasn't been lived in a long time. I'm coming up to MLK. It's right up here. And I think I'm pretty close. I'm close to Fremont. I've only got like 45 minutes before I gotta start heading south. And I want to try and get some video from near Shaver and MLK, which is a few blocks north of here. That was where the riot back in '67, it was sparked at that intersection, and then it, spread up and down the road here. So I think there's a Chevron here, because I need an energy drink. Don't want to hear shit from any of you people. I need it. I haven't had a day off. This is my day off. This is like my first day off in a long time. So I'm spending it out doing this. So, oh my God. So I need a little help along the way. So I'm at the corner of MLK and Fremont, pretty bustling intersection, which means I'm only a couple of blocks south of Shaver and MLK, where the '67 riots happened. It's also a spot just maybe 100 feet north of where the Gray building was located. I've talked about that. I have a few videos on my channel where I've mentioned the Gray building. It was demoed, I want to say late spring, maybe it was still winter. It was an iconic place for just historically in general, but also like Portland's black history. There was Black Panther connections to it. It's where the infamous possum incident occurred, this major, clearly racially motivated incident by the Portland police back in the early 80s. And one of Portland's first prominent black families lived there. It was this tiny little shack of a building that hadn't been used since like 2014, and then out of nowhere it got demoed. I haven't visited this area since then, so I mean, honestly, it's rough. That was one of the top 3 or 4 buildings in this area that I really, really, really wished could have been saved. I think if the history of the place, or the major historical events there were predominantly white history, I guarantee you there would have been a greater push to save the spot. even if it ended up getting demoed anyway, it probably would have taken longer. So that element of things just sucks, straight up. Yep, here we are, fenced off, and someone's hacking up some trees over here, but this lot over here next to this hardware store, it's where the gray building was. And now it's no more. God, that sucks. Alright, got some shots. The general area where the gray building is, they were cutting up logs there. Still hear the chainsaws a little bit. And then got some of the intersection with Shaver and MLK, which was Union back in the 60s when the riots happened. I want to get a lot of footage up and down Union because Shaver and Union's just where kind of the catalyst occurred, the kind of bomb went off. But there was violence up and down Williams, I think even Alberta, Killingsworth, but especially Union Avenue, that got the worst of it. Now I'm walking down Grand Avenue, and just kind of, you know, I gotta be out of here in like 20 minutes, so I'm just kind of getting whatever I can, and bouncing off. So anyway, this film is going to take, this Albina documentary I'm doing is going to take a very long time to do. I can't stress that enough. Oh, and another house demolished. It's all beat up and dirt up there. Yeah, I'm probably going to end up finishing the feature film I just shot, like editing it, everything. I'll probably end up shooting 2 or 3 more short films as well before I get this done. This is going to take, I'm literally going to have to scour what is several square miles, getting footage of just about everything so I'm prepared for everything, and setting up ceaseless interviews, hopefully. I want to interview as many people as I possibly can for this, and so yeah, I'm at the very opening start period of this whole thing. There's a lot to do, and that's one of the reasons I'm out here. Like, I should be resting today, but we have about another week of good weather, and then you know, slowly the late fall winter weather is going to start setting in, and it's going to be, you know, it's going to be cloudier, it's going to be colder, it's going to be rainier. It's Portland. So I want to get out and get as much footage as I can while it's like this. And I know, you know, whether I leave at 9 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, it's going to be nice and dry outside. The wind doesn't even matter because I'm not getting sound. So, you know, kicking myself in the butt. I made really good progress today. I might come back after I do this other thing. I have to go way down by Almsey to do it, so I don't know if I'm gonna have the wherewithal to come all the way back up here. I don't know. But I made progress today, and there's still so much left to do. There's specific places I have to go see, which is going to be end up being one of those like zag this way, that way, back. You know, just get like I have to get footage of all the old schools here because back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, especially here. I might be in the Boyce neighborhood now. I'm not dead certain about that. I'm on the fringe of it if not. But yeah, and a lot of these areas, Humboldt, they had their elementary schools were like, they were segregated just based on the fact that like schools were integrated in Portland. Like people who weren't white could go to any school, you know, if they lived in the area. But the thing was, the city had spent so many years pushing Portland's black population into this one area that in doing so, in pushing practically that whole population into this area, the schools in effect became segregated pretty much because the majority of Portland's black population was only going to a few select schools. So, you know, it was just this damn trickery on the part of the city who could sit there and say, hey, no, our schools are integrated. We're progressive. So it's like, but when you have a scenario where you force an entire race of people that they're that sect of your population into one small area, you're forcing them all to live in the same spot, you're forcing them all to go to the same schools, you're forcing them to predominantly use only certain businesses, because you know if there's a business right here next to where you live, you're not going to go to another part of town. So, you know, the white people in effect are keeping the non-white people in one small area via, especially the city, you know, city officials, via their actions, keeping certain people of a certain race in a certain area. That's segregation. So yeah, that's like one of many things. I have to get footage of all these schools. I just spit. Just a lot of things. There's specific buildings, there's specific locations that aren't what they used to be. Like, I know I took a picture and took down the address of where the first Black Panther headquarters were located. I know it was along Union here, and there was a newer building, you know, in its place. Hell, might even be this building right here at this intersection, because I know it was at a southeasterly corner of an intersection. So, for all I know, this could be where the old Black Panther headquarters used to be. I don't know. Anyway, I might continue in, you know, like 2 hours. I might not. We'll see. I also have to go to Chinatown, too, for, you know, Portland's early Black history and just non-white people in general history. Alright, well, I thought maybe I'd go out and shoot more, but I ended up shooting some other stuff for my feature, some cutaways in the vicinity of where I already was, which I'm back down in like southeast Portland, so I'm pretty far away from North Portland where I was, and it's going to be dark in about 2 hours, so I'm wiped out. I wouldn't have much light when I got there, so we're just cutting it for the day, the first of many days, going out and shooting videos, and then hopefully ultimately transitioning into interviews with people. Or did I say shooting interviews? I don't freaking know anymore. Oh man, anyway gang, it's hot out here. But yeah, till next time, it's just kind of a little intro video for the production I'm gonna be doing on the history of the old Albina area, throwing in some history as I'm shooting clips in certain places. And yeah, so see you guys.
He was a great guy.
See you guys later.